All right, DJ, you know what time it is?
It's pick time.
It's pick time. And look, me and you are like freaking struggling. You know what? This is great is
We're
since we
limping.
joined
Hey,
these
we're
people.
like the Ole Miss Rebels, man. We're hurting.
We're hurting. We're on the injury report, man.
We
We got
are
guys
IR.
down.
Yes.
Golly. And how about this? The people that have joined us, MPW Digital, a lot of people are watching this on YouTube now. And so they're probably listening to these picks, and they're probably going like, these guys are idiots. They have no idea what they're talking about. And we picked a hell of a 2 weeks to literally since we joined MPW Digital, we've stunk it up. So we got to come back this week. We got to come back solid. So we'll just crank it up and go. And I'll let you start off. Go ahead.
So my first pick is Missouri at Georgia. Okay, Georgia is 38-point favorites, and I am taking
No,
Missouri.
you're not.
I am taking Missouri. Let me ask you this: how many games has Georgia even scored 38 points?
DJ, Georgia may run for 800 yards in this game.
I realize Missouri's terrible. I realize that Missouri's struggling on defense, okay? I'm just saying, I think this is a correction spread because Georgia always covers. I've gone with Georgia 4 to 5 times this year, and I've won on every one. I won last week with Georgia, okay? But this one is set at 38 points. I mean, 38 points. And I think there's one game all year that Georgia's even scored 38 points. I think there's one game the entire season that Georgia has scored 38 points. Am I right?
All right, so Georgia, I'll tell you, I got it called up right here. So they scored 56 against UAB.
Okay.
They scored 40 against South Carolina. They scored 62 against Vandy.
All right.
They
so
beat
there's 3
Vandy
games.
62. They beat 62 to nothing on Vandy. I just throw that out there too.
Yes, there's 3 games. I remember the Vandy one.
What was what did you said that they scored more than what?
38.
You're correct because they've scored 37, 34, 30, and 34 the last 4 games.
Yes. And so
But that was against Kentucky, Georgia, Auburn, and Arkansas. Just to let you know.
I know, but I still think that this game, even if it gets out of hand, Kirby's going to get out of there, and I think that Missouri is going to be able to stay within 38 points. Just my
This
opinion.
is one of those games where you need just one Missouri touchdown. You just need one.
I know, or one mishap. You know, Georgia's just coming off. They're just coming off the.
I do
the
think
Florida
you're right.
Win.
Go ahead.
They're coming off the Florida win. They're going to be a little bit, deflated because of the great win. They think they're just going to blow Missouri out, which they are. But are they going to blow them out by 38? I don't
Hey, this is one of those games where because they are going to run the ball for 8,000 yards, so at least the clock will be running.
Yes.
You literally need. I will say this: if you can, at 38, that 49-10 looks kind of. You just need a couple. You just need 14 points. I don't know.
All right. Okay.
I'm
They
not
ain't
betting
14
that
points.
One. Yeah,
They're not
picking
getting
it or I'm not betting it.
Oh, gosh. All right, who
That's
you got,
okay.
number one? I got to go a different route. What I'm doing right now is not working. I got to figure something else out. So.
Yeah, I had to go back to the drawing board too. So
Yeah.
I'm starting this off in the Big Ten, and I'm taking the Michigan State Spartans
Okay.
-3
All right.
against Purdue.
Well,
Michigan State, man, is like, I don't know, man. I really, really like what they got going right now. I mean, they're good on defense. They're good. I mean, they're playing. I love their mentality. I love the culture he's building there. I love their running game. Their running back Walker is unbelievable. The balance and body control in that guy is absolutely insane. I just Purdue, man. I mean, their roller
Up and
coaster is
down.
kind of scary.
they're up and down.
It's kind of scary because they can't play defense. But I'm going. I mean, so could Michigan. Michigan could play defense too, and they got 37 on those guys. I'm going Michigan State -3 at Purdue.
I have the exact same pick for number 2. We're right on with that.
We got to turn it. We got to turn the letter around on that because we stunk it up when we had the exact same picks the other day, except for
I
Georgia,
know.
I think. So
That's
We
my
usually do good
concern.
with those.
My concern is I got one of the same ones as you. That's my concern.
Oh, yes, that's a concern now. It used to be a positive. Now it's a concern.
Yes.
All right. My second pick is my lock of the week.
Okay.
And I want to let everybody know this was my lock before the news came out.
Oh my goodness, we have the same lock. I know exactly what you're going with. Go ahead.
Baylor minus 6.5 versus TCU. Is that your lock too?
That's my lock, and I had it picked before the news came out too. So.
Oh,
no,
boy, here we go,
trouble.
DJ.
Yes.
Hey, we're either really good or we're going to be really bad together, one or the other. All right.
Yes.
So yeah, that seems it's almost like a trap game. That looks like it's too easy.
I know. This
Look, I know this for a fact though. If it may, and this is, let me tell people why I'm picking this one. Baylor's hot, and Baylor's scoring points, and they're playing good ball. But you got this issue going on. I know there was a lot of I heard this from a coaching buddy of mine I'll just put this through the recruiting pipeline of people I know. There are players, you know, it's supposed to be portal time in Fort Worth. So,
can I just make one more comment about that? All right. I heard
absolutely. Go ahead.
I heard a sports journalist, okay, say that if you fire the head coach in the middle of the season, you are saying you do not care at all about the student athletes. That's what you're saying, is that the student athletes is the least of your priority. And this sports journalist said this because you've just taken the chances of those seniors from winning and hindered it. You've just hindered the chances of those seniors from winning. And not even the seniors, the rest of the student athletes on the team, by firing a coach in the middle of the season. And so, you know, everything is always about the student athlete. I always hear that is the student athletes first, student athlete first. You know, we're here as coaches and we're here as administrators for the student athlete. But firing a coach in the middle of the season is saying that you don't care about the student athlete because you just made his life, or his season, I should say, not necessarily life, his season, okay, more difficult to win. And so, I mean, if you really care about the student athlete, okay, evaluate your coaches at the end of the season.
I would have retweeted that if I saw that.
Yeah.
I mean, who is this journalist? I mean,
This
don't
was
blow up.
Pat Forty, I think. He said it. I didn't get like inside information from him. Pat Forty said it publicly. I think it was Pat Forty. He said, "Hey, if you truly care about the student, if you truly care about the student athlete, then don't fire the coach during the middle of the season."
But yeah, we could go down this soapbox for an hour.
I know.
Agreed.
I know. Anyway.
All right, so that was also.
I said that because you said now TCU players are, you know, entering the portal. Yeah.
Yeah, they are, or they're about to. I've already heard through the other teams.
Yeah.
And they have a good roster, or had a good roster.
Right.
But anyway, all right. My next pick. You know, I'm a rider.
Yes.
And I screwed up last week because I should have taken this last week and I didn't. I didn't have enough nuts, but I do this week. The Houston Cougars minus 13 at South Florida. Okay, I'm taking this strictly on. I'm taking this strictly because I'm a rider. Yep, I'm taking this strictly because I'm a rider. But look, South Florida plays good at home. But look, man, Houston's got it going. They have not lost since the first game of the season. They've won, 7 in a row?
And they just beat a good SMU team. Yeah,
beat a good SMU team. I like what they're doing down there, man. I think they got it going. Love my man Doug Belt, what he's doing on the defensive side of the ball. When they're playing defense down there in Houston. Let's go Houston Cougs minus 13 against South Florida.
Well, I like that one. I'm thinking about switching right now. And I thought about that one too.
All right, who you got next pick?
All right, next pick for me is UTSA, okay, at UTEP, okay, and UTEP's getting 12.5. And you know me, I've been riding UTEP.
Who you riding with?
I'm going with UTEP, man. I'm going with the UTEP Miners. They're getting 12.5 points. Okay, the game is in El Paso. It's on the border. I mean, you're literally on the Mexican border. Okay, and UTEP. I mean, they went down to the wire last week with FAU at FAU. I mean, they are playing some football, man. I'm going to give them. I'm going to take 12.5, and I'm going to take the UTEP Miners.
I don't know if this game's on TV, but it should be. Who would have thunketh at the beginning of the year that UTSA and UTEP was going to be a freaking, what are they, like 6-2 and 8-0 or 7-0, whatever
It's
it is. One's undefeated, one's
6-2 and 8-0. Yep. And UTEP's 2 losses are Boise State at Boise State and FAU at FAU.
Yeah. I mean, who would have thought that, man?
All right. And this is a home game for UTEP. So
true story. True story. When you in the Fun Belt, when you had to go play, we used to have to go play New Mexico State. They used to be in the Fun Belt.
Right.
And you fly into El Paso, okay?
Yeah.
And that's where you land the plane, and then you drive from El Paso to Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Right.
And so it's the craziest thing ever. So when you're landing, you know how you're landing and you're going, it's like desert. Like you think you're landing in the desert. And then all of a sudden a runway appears. And boom, you hit the runway. And then when you get on the bus and you're driving, just what you were just saying, the entire drive, it's just a fence. I don't know if the board wall and all that stuff's been a long time since I've been there, but it used to be just a fence.
Yeah.
And every so often you'd have a tower, but it was like America, Mexico, like literally within 50 yards of the road. And you'd see all these little towns and shacks on top of mountains and stuff. I mean, it was crazy. It's the most surreal bus ride I've ever had. Was between El Paso, Texas, and Las Cruces, New Mexico. So I don't know if it's changed, but it was definitely different.
Tell me about it. My dad grew up in Las Cruces, New Mexico. He lived there till he was 12 years old and then moved to Oklahoma. My mom's from Oklahoma forever, but we used to go back and visit family, and we used to actually drive over to Juarez and go shopping at the downtown or whatever. But nowadays, Juarez is like the most dangerous town in Mexico.
Oh yeah.
You don't go over there now. But my point is that is the border town to El Paso is Juarez, Mexico. So
wow.
I think UTSA might see that and be a little scared, and UTEP's going to get the advantage there.
All right, I'm having to make an amendment here to my next pick.
Oh, okay.
I'm having to make an amendment.
All right.
And this is why I'm having to make an amendment. As we were taping this morning, I got a text message.
Inside information?
Nope. I got a text message from an SEC school.
Okay.
That's now purchasing, that's ready to purchase our QwikCut.
Okay.
So I can't pick against them anymore. They're on the can't pick list. So I have to change them out. Okay. So I added a new client in the last 15, 20 minutes, so we have to change the pick because I can't pick whether they're in there anymore. So
I got you.
Congratulations, welcome to QwikCut. All right, so here's my amended pick. The Texas A&M Aggies are hosting the Auburn Tigers at a 2:30 SEC clash. Auburn actually controls their own destiny. They're like you said earlier, they're sneaky good. Auburn is sneaky good, and they're doing a great job. With all that being said, they're going into College Station, and Texas A&M is actually starting to play like Texas A&M we thought they were going to play at the beginning of the year. I really like what they got going on. They've had a bye week. They are healthy, and a bye week for Texas A&M is like getting a Toradol shot. The whole team got a Toradol shot this week because they were banged up. They already started to get come back a little bit. Let's go. Texas A&M minus 4.5 against Auburn. And I think this line actually may go – I'm taking it at 4.5 right now, but I'm not going to bet it because I think this line actually may move the other direction. It may end up a little closer to 3 before the end of the week. I love Texas A&M in this game at home. I just think that, the things that Bo Nix is able to do with his feet are going to be kind of like when he played Georgia, are going to be limited. He's not going to be able to run around as much. That is a hostile environment. They get loud there, and they're playing well. As Alabama struggled there, obviously they lost. I think Auburn does as well. I like Texas A&M minus 4.5, but I would wait till the end of the week to see where it drops versus Auburn.
I think that's a really good pick. I do. And I agree with you. I think perception is that Auburn is trending upward and that they're going to be able to keep this thing within 4.5 points. But the reality is Texas A&M is one of the most talented teams in the country, and we thought they were going to compete for a national championship there this year, and they may be playing to their potential. You know, and I think
they're going to be healthy.
And they're going to be healthy. Yep, they're going to be healthy. I think that's a really good pick. All right, next pick for me. Next pick for me is Oregon at Washington, and Oregon is 6.5 point favorite, and I think Oregon is going to beat them by more than 6.5 points. I think this is at least going to be a 7-point win, and I'm going with the Oregon Ducks.
DJ. DJ.
Yeah.
We got problems.
We do, because you're in the same.
Because
you're on the same. You're on the same wavelength as me. Yep.
My last pick before I get to my money line.
Yep.
Is the Oregon Ducks minus 6.5 versus Washington. Like, Lou, we're either going to be celebrating together or crying together. It's really scary that we got this, and we don't. And look, for new listeners that come out, we just don't pick. Mm-hmm. We got free reign. I don't know his picks. He doesn't know my picks.
Right.
So for us to pick the same games together, that's a little scary. I also have the Oregon Ducks minus 6.5 versus Washington. DJ, I think they're starting to play a little bit. I think they're starting to come on. Washington, man. Washington is inconsistent. It's the only thing that concerned me there is it's at Washington. That place can get rowdy. But they're kind of, do they have the same juice they would have if they were having the year that we thought they were going to have, So
right.
I'm going to Oregon minus 6.5. I think Oregon can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel where they can find their way in the playoff. I think they should be motivated and ready to go. I like Oregon in this game.
Well, and it's 6.5. I mean, as you and I know, touchdowns are in sevens, and so all you need is one touchdown and you win. So.
Yep. All right. So how many picks you got left? This is your last one, money line pick?
I've got one left. My money line is going to be Wake Forest versus North Carolina. Wake Forest, undefeated, playing good football. That offense is incredible right now. Their scheme is unique, and they are scoring a lot of points, and I think they're going to win this game.
All right. My money line pick, my last pick is my money line, my underdog to win. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons are undefeated underdogs against North Carolina. I think this is going to be a shootout. I love Wake's really good on offense. So is North Carolina. And so when you can score points like that, I know North Carolina's okay, struggling a little bit on defense, just gave up a ton to Notre Dame. I think Wake Forest is a better team than Notre Dame. I do. I'm taking Wake Forest, man. I mean, they're undefeated. Let's go. They're undefeated underdogs. Let's go. So
I agree with that.
So that finishes up our picks. Before we close it out, there is a game that we have to discuss this weekend. And I think we all know what it is. I did not pick it. I noticed you didn't pick it. I thought you may pick it, but I didn't pick it. My man Hugh Freeze, the first ever home visit with Tyler Siskey and Associates guest, the first ever. Good friend of mine is coming back to Oxford, Mississippi this weekend. And they are 10-point dogs to Ole Miss.
Let me just say this.
I'm going, by the way. I'm going to the game. First game I'm ever going back to the vault. I'm going this weekend.
How about that? Let me just say this. You said at the beginning of the year that this was going to be one of the most watched or best games to watch in the college football season. You said that at the beginning of the year. For all the personal reasons, the Hugh Freeze coming back to Ole Miss, along with him having a good team at Liberty. and the not just the matchup, but the emotions that are going to be involved in this game too. You said that at the beginning of the year, and you're sticking with it.
Yeah, I think it's I think the storyline has lost a little bit of juice that they've lost 2 games. I was saying that thinking they were going to come in here undefeated, but they did lose to Syracuse and they lost to Fun Row. My man Rich Rod put it on them down there in Fun Row.
That's right.
But, he does have a good team. I'm not even touching this line, and this is why I'm not touching this line. I won't even think about betting it on Saturday because I don't know. I mean, does Lane go, okay, we can line up and run the football and win the game? I mean, how many of these guys are going to, is he going to sit somebody, or is he going to play Matt Corral the whole game, being dinged up when he's got Texas A&M coming in? There's a lot of things I don't know. I mean, he may very well. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he'll start him, but I don't know. And look, we can, of course, this week everybody's going to ask you about coming back. It's just another game. It's not just another game. It can't be. I've been in those situations. I'm not in that situation for sure, but I've been in situations to where you're going back home or you're playing a school that you graduated from, your alma mater, whatever it is. It is another game, but the emotions leading into the game are different. They are, and that's not coach speak. Coach speak will be like, "Oh, it's just another game. We're going to go out there." It's never. Things are always different, and you have to portray that to your players, and you want them to know it's just another game. But I don't know if Hugh can do that. I don't know if Hugh can get his players to understand it's another game and he may try to, but the players aren't dumb. They love their coach, and they know how important it is for him. They're going to be ready to go now.
Right.
They are going – this is their Super Bowl. They've had this thing circled for 500 years, okay? They know this game is coming. But then on the Ole Miss side, it's look, we're beat up. We don't even want to play this game. We want to go ahead and play Texas A&M. They would rather be – they're in this grind. Do we ease up? Do we because they don't have any connection. No player there has any connection to Hugh Freeze. None.
That's true.
And so, I mean, maybe I'm saying that there may be one. I don't know. There may be a 6-year super COVID senior that I'm not thinking of. Maybe Momo. I don't know.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's not the whole group. Matt Corral doesn't even know who. Matt Corral doesn't.
Right.
And so how much of it is, hey, they're beat up. I mean, Drummond's got a hamstring. Braylon Sanders is out. I guarantee there's part of it you want to use this as a bye week a little bit. I mean, if they knew that they could go in with Luke Altmaier or somebody at quarterback and win the game and hand the ball off 65 times and just win the game, they would take it and go home right now, and they could get guys healthy before this last run. So I don't know. It's gonna be super interesting to see what happens Saturday, because it's a dangerous game for Ole Miss. It is dangerous. Should they win the game? Yes. Okay, I'm not an idiot. They should win the game, and should win it. And if this was the first game of the year, they win it very easily. Liberty's good on defense, but who have they played? You know what I mean? It's they haven't, statistically they're good, but who have they played? But they went head-to-head with Syracuse, and it came down to the end. And Syracuse is a good football. It was a decent football team.
Oh, yeah, Syracuse beat Boston College bad this week.
This is not a typical group of 5 school coming in here. I'd make the argument that they're better than a lot of Power 5 schools. And
it's fair.
So you can't come in half-stepping, but there's, don't you know, by the way, did Matt Corral how good he felt yesterday morning when he woke up?
Yeah.
When that Toradol shot wore off?
Oh, I know.
Whoo! Because he was in pain, man. Look, let me tell you something. Matt Corral is as tough as they come. He is as tough as a $2 steak. Okay? I mean, he is a machine. And when he went down, and my wife was watching it too, and she knew it too. But when you see guys kind of rocking like that, that's when you know they're in real big pain. He couldn't stay still. and then he went in, and then could barely put weight on it, and then comes out. He got that's what you call a Toradol shot, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to know what that was, that's called a Toradol shot. You can, with a roll of tape and Toradol, you can cure just about anything. I think you could cure COVID with a Toradol shot and a roll of tape. But when it wears off, though, whoo! Yeah. I'm talking about there ain't nothing you can do about it. And so I know he felt great. Interested. What do you think about that game? Where do you see that game?
I think that, as a coach, you never want the game to be about you. You never want the players to think that the game is about you. And so that's where Hugh Freeze is battling right now. He's trying to, like you said, put on this persona to the players that, hey, it's just another game. Hey, we've got a good team. I think we can go in there and win. But the fact that it's Ole Miss and I used to coach there, that's not that big a deal. But you know what I mean? I think that he's going to do everything he can to act like it's not about him. But it is. It is. There and as much as people say that every game's the same and they all feel the same, they all get up the same. That's what we want players to believe, and that's how we want players to approach that week of practice. But it's not. Every game's not the same. Emotions are different. More is on the line in certain games. It means more maybe to one person than it does another person in the locker room that week. And you don't want that. And, as a coach, you do everything you can to keep things meticulous and keep things on track. But for us to act like it's not that way is not true. This means something to Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze wants to win this game, and he wants to win it really, really bad. And I don't know if he can hide that from his players.
Yeah, and even if he does, okay, like the kids aren't stupid. Yeah. Like they're not dumb. They're going. He can say what he wants to say this week.
Yeah,
it's going to go right over their head. They're going to come in fired up. They are.
Yes.
Now, is it going to be enough? Probably not. But, it's going to be interesting to see. But look, Vegas is kind of in. Like I was really shocked that the line was at 10.
Mm-hmm. You thought
that told me something. I did. I thought we were going to see a 17 to 20 point spread. So Vegas is buying into it.
Yeah, it's true.
So either that or there's some injuries that they're buying into, whatever it is. But and Ole Miss when they're hurt, offensively and all that stuff, struggling. But look, I say struggle. They're relatively for Ole Miss, they're struggling. They're not struggling for anybody else, but for Ole Miss, they're struggling, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be. I'm interested. I am. I'm interested to see what happens. I'm not touching it because I'm not even. I don't want to be a part of it. Like I got friends on. I got friends on both sides. I'm not even remotely even thinking about talking about who's picking a winner in this game. Just because I can now. I don't have to. Nobody's putting a gun in my head. I don't have to.
Right.
But I'm really interested because and I'm going to go back. We'll finish up on this, but it's like when Nick Saban was at Alabama. Every single time that we played LSU, come on, you don't think nothing went through his head? And that's Nick Saban now.
Right. Yeah.
He did
the pinnacle of coaches. Yes.
Yeah, and that was such a big deal, and the way that Hugh left here, and now he's having success. Well, let me tell you something. Now it's going to be put it like this. It's not a really big storyline right now because they're Liberty's 6-2 and lost to Monroe and they lost to Syracuse. If Hugh Freeze comes into Oxford, Mississippi, and somehow, some way shocks the world and wins this game, do you know how freaking nuts, bizarre, weird place Oxford, Mississippi is going to be for the rest of the year? It would either be the media's dream or nightmare around here. I don't know which one's which.
Bizarro world.
Oh my gosh, it would be. It's almost. I know it's so bad of me, so bad of me to say this. I kind of like crazy stuff. Like I'm messed up in the head a little bit like that. Part of me just wants to see the reaction of the Ole Miss fans and the media just to have a thermal nuclear meltdown. If Hugh Freeze was to bring Liberty after the season that Ole Miss has had, to bring Liberty in here and find a way. I mean, look, I'm not saying anything bad happened to anybody, but like 14 block punts or something, something crazy occurs. But look, they're a 10-point dog. Look, I mean, what Monroe was 30-something point dogs and they won. They've won 3 times as over a 10-point dog. So
yeah,
maybe it happens. It could. It probably won't, but it would be. Part of me just wants to see it happen, just to see. I messed up like that. I apologize. It would be really funny to me to see everybody just have a meltdown. That would be great. So, anyway, we'll end on that one. But you got anything else before we wrap it up?
Hey, you got me tuned in on this game now. Believe me, my TV set's going to be on this one.
You can't not watch. I mean, look, it's 11 a.m. Well, like we talked, it's 11 a.m. game. You can't not turn in just to see.
Yes.
You got to tune in just to see what happens. But it will be a little bit more interesting than normal with all the injuries on the Ole Miss side. I think if Ole Miss was healthy, I don't think this is even a game. But I'm just interested to see with the injuries and can they really hold up? Can Liberty really hold up? Do they have a chance? I don't know, but Vegas thinks they do apparently.
Yep.
So, but hey, remember guys to check us out on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Home Visit with Tyler Siskey and the Associates. Check us out on Apple, Spotify, MPW Digital, anywhere you can. SoundCloud, it's on everywhere. We're listed on, like I said, on all the MPW Digital channels. Make sure you check us out. Hey, review, subscribe, leave us our 3-star because we like it. I think I like 3 stars more than DJ does, but DJ likes them too.
Hey, I made hay on 3 stars.
You made hay on 3 stars. And then until next time, take care.
We'll see you.